All right, guys, we're gonna go over my second mod here. So let's take a look. I have this anchor and kind of a fun little kayak anchor, folds out. But I didn't have a really good way to tie it up on my kayak. So that's where we came up with the idea of the second mod being the anchor tie. So I've actually already printed it. I printed it in Onyx. Here it is. And I'll talk a little bit about why I kind of have these surface artifacts here and kind of why it looks like that on the bottom, but it all has to do with the print orientation. You can see that I drilled into the bottom here, and I'll show you a little bit of how it works here in a second, but let's go ahead and take a look at how it was built inside of SolidWorks. All right, so if I go ahead and come into SolidWorks here and I open up the model, we can see how it's fitting there on the kayak, but I can go ahead and select my slice features here, and we can take a look at the information that I got from the scan. I brought that same STL file in here, did a slice of that top of the kayak, and I was able to create a surface using a surface loft and those sketches. You might see that something that I did here was I created a 3D sketch, and I actually just converted over portions of these sketches because I didn't want that whole surface. So I simply selected those, did a convert entities, and then I was able to just drag the endpoints here to where I wanted them to be. And that gave me just that surface body that I wanted. We'll go ahead and roll back, and next thing I did was just a simple extrude. All right, I just created an ellipse there, and I did that with draft. And then I did a surface cut. So I used that surface body that was generated and created a surface cut. You could also do this with the replace face command instead of surface cut, but surface cut works just as well here. Next thing I did here for these shapes was just simply did an extrude cut, just a thin extrude. That just allows me to use this circle instead of creating a closed contour, just specifying how wide I want this to be. And then I could taper it down because I wanted those angled surfaces to allow the paracord to kind of bite against itself and bite against the model to get enough friction to make it kind of bind up there for me. And then I did that same thing again here, a little bit larger diameter circle, again with that same draft to get the geometry that I wanted. Then I added some counterbore features. So what I wanted to do was simply just, I wanted to be able to line this so that I could screw it down, but I wanted to put the screws in underneath. So I needed to be able to drill through this and then screw it in through the back. So I just put those counterbore features there so that I could create some plugs to cover these holes after I was done using them as kind of locators. Then I just added a couple of chamfers here to remove some of the material to make it easier for me to get that paracord down inside of the feature there. And that's kind of how I came up with my anchor tie. Pretty simple, not a lot of just like crazy techniques or anything there, but it seems like it's very effective. That paracord actually binds very well, and haven't had any issues with it slipping at all yet. So yeah, hopefully you guys really enjoy the design. Make sure you guys vote for me today at 2 during our live event. We'll be showing off all of our modifications and the mystery mod during our live event, so please vote for me.